Hello, and welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it Thoughts and Guilt. I don't know, it's just a question somebody asked me, so I just call it that. This question was asked to me in Spanish, and so I translated. And the question says, "Hi Nick, back here, in case you want to answer, how can you experience peace with a memory that, when it appears, you feel guilt? Or is it about embracing the guilt even if you don't understand it, perhaps out of compassion?" So I'll share with you the answer that I wrote real quick, and then we elaborate on it. I said, peace is actually what you are at all times. You could say it is the background. You yourself is a thought that arises in that background. When you ask me that question, you are talking about yourself who now grasps a thought that arises and takes it as your own. And as a result of interpreting that thought, you experience a sensation that you label guilt. If a thought arises, all you have to see is the thought as it is, a passing cloud that crosses consciousness. If you don't judge it, that is, if you don't project meaning onto it, and in turn you allow any sensations that arises to be without judging it, again without projecting meaning onto it, they continue on their course. But if you haven't investigated who that you who's asking the question is, new questions will always arise. That is, new thoughts will always arise, which the mind interprets and uses them to continue sustaining the false sense of identity. But if you see thoughts and sensations as just that, passing clouds, over time you realize they are all the same. Thoughts that arise, sensations that arise, but the you, capital Y, the background, remains unchanged, immovable, unaffected. Then the person continues, "Hi Nick, regarding the question I just sent you, this one may be closer to what I am trying to say, and that is, if memories only appear in a conditioned mind, and that's why guilt is experienced, perhaps in a conscious or awake person, memories are experienced in peace?" And I said, thoughts appear without your choosing them. The reason they arise is irrelevant. A conscious person observes them instead of judging them. Remember that what makes you feel good or bad isn't the thought itself, but the interpretation you make of it. Without interpretation, that is, without judgment, all that there is a passing cloud, a passing thought. A conscious person knows who they are in essence. That's where the message is pointing to. Otherwise, you remain identified with that character you think you are, and when new thoughts arises, the mind will want to formulate new responses, all to maintain that false sense of that you think you are. In other words, it's very interesting how the mind still conjuring up questions to hold on to the sense of identity. When a thought appears, a thought appears. When it's seen through and not judged, that's it. You're simply being, in which everything seems to appear and disappear. If a sensation appears, it's just that, a sensation. If it's seen through, once again, sensations appear and disappear. But when there's a strong belief in this seeming I, then all the thoughts has to do with me. Look what I did, look what I should have done, look what I didn't do, look what I have to do. And all sensations also pertain to me, And then of course is the fear of what could happen to me, so therefore I have to I'm concerned about what the sensation means and all that stuff. But if you simply recognize, not you personally, but again, language is limiting, but if there's a recognition that I am, because the investigation has been done, because when I ask you who are you, you always have to come to a thought, to a judgment. Who are you? You may say, I am my name, I am I don't know, Johnny or Mary, I am Puerto Rican or American or Chinese or Portuguese. I am tall, I am short. All this I am is attributed to what? It's attributed to a thought that says, I am this, whatever you want to call this. But the I am this we're pointing to is the ever-present, non-conceptual, always pure being existence. That's what when I ask you, can you say you don't exist? Can you say you're not? Can you say you don't sense that, your life, that you can you sense, can you not sense that? And you know that you are life. But again, we're talking intellectually right now. But this is how we're communicating. What can I say? You cannot negate the fact that you are. That's just beingness. That's always. That never changes. The problem is you experience yourself as what? You see? And you say, I am a person. Okay, let's see if that's true. And you begin the investigation. How do I know I'm a person? Well, I know that I'm a person because I am taught that I am a person. If I wasn't taught that I am a person, who am I? The feelings and the sensations, that's who I am. No, feelings and sensations appear, but they appear in what you are in essence. But when you believe the thought, I am this individual, and then these feelings appear, you claim those feelings as being yours. Sometimes even to be you. When thoughts appear, you claim the thoughts to be you. But they're just appearances in the same way that you are an appearance in all that there is. I shared this in videos a few days ago when I actually created images, but let's talk about it again here. It's like when you're in bed and you're sleeping in bed, that little mind in the bed is what you are. That will be the real I am within this analogy. That's the I am, you see? But that I am projects a dream. So here you are, the I am, which is you in bed, but now you project yourself in a dream. And now you confuse the I am, which is the real I am, the one in bed, to the I am in the dream. Now here's what is interesting. The I am in the dream, which is a projection from the actual real I am, the I am in the dream cannot think anything, cannot feel anything. And yet feelings appear in the dream, because the I am in the dream suggests these are my feelings. Those feelings are projections from the real I am into the dream. And those thoughts that this little I am, little me in the dream suggests that is thinking, these thoughts does not belong to that little me. They still belong to the same source, to the actual I am, the mind that is dreaming the dream. So that I am, which is the background, is where these videos are pointing to. So in the dream, the little me is just this little me. The feelings that appear does not belong to the little me. They're just feelings that appear. And the thoughts that appear does not belong to the little me. They're just thoughts that appear. However, the I am in bed, which projects all three of them, now believe that it is this little me, and now all the thoughts and all the feelings that seems to be appearing in the dream they are attributed to this little me, and that's why the little me says, I think, I feel, you see. But who I really am is not neither the feelings nor the thoughts nor the little me. Who I really am is the I am, which in the analogy would be the mind in the bed. You see? In this seeming dream, the real I am is not a mind. The real I am is what is. But because a thought seems to appear, now what we are is a projection from that thought. And the feelings and sensations that seem to appear are projections from that very same mind. And the thing is that that which seems to project all this, not only project the seeming me, but it's also projecting all the thoughts and all the feelings and then attribute them to this me. And we get stuck in here. And when these questions arises, they may seem very interesting, very credible. Sure, I mean, how do I feel if I feel guilty? I mean, if I have these thoughts and they generate guilt. See, you keep reinforcing the belief in this me, which is the one we're looking through it. You see? Thoughts will appear to supposedly suggest that there's a history. Right now, if I ask you, who are you? Notice that thoughts will appear to somehow justify that, but when it is seen through, then you realize that you simply are, and this is not esoteric, this is very, very practical. Right now, right this moment, you are, or are you not? Right now, are you not being? Right? A sense of alive, beingness. This is it. Okay? Thoughts appear. A thought about, look what I did yesterday. No. You didn't do anything yesterday. Because yesterday doesn't exist. The only thing that seemed to exist is a thought, which is referred to as a memory. And you use that thought to justify a seeming yesterday, and all the thoughts that appear in the present moment are justified to somehow believe in something that seems to have happened long time ago, because that is the lineage that we have to somehow create to keep sustaining the belief that this is who I am. I was a child, I'm an adolescent, then a young adult, and blah blah blah. But these are thoughts. It's a storyline that is held in memory that the mind uses to justify the belief in this seeming me. But without these thoughts, without the history, what are you? And there's many ways in which this projection disguises itself or uses to justify that you are who you think you are. You may seem to have others telling you who you think you are. You have photos. See, this is a photo that says, this is me when I was 4 years old. No, that's not, that's just a photo that is appearing in this moment, that the mind is using it to somehow justify the belief, the thought that I was a 4-year-old kid. But in truth, I was not a 4-year-old kid. This is just a picture appearing here, in the same way you can use a birth certificate and whatever. But in the end, all that there is what is. And everything seems to appear in you spontaneously right now. You see? And whatever feelings or sensations, they are just appearances or seeming appearances in what is. When you don't engage, when there's no engagement with any of them, they continue They passed on, they continue on. Nisargadatta Maharaj used to say that. He basically said the difference between you and I, look, I see the same things that you seem to see. What happened is that I just rest in the fact that I am. I don't find myself dragged by the thoughts or anything. You see, it's a passing show, and you find yourself being dragged by the thoughts of the passing show. It's kind of like just being right now. Let's say you and I were sitting next to each other, and I'm just simply being, and in the being, clouds seems to appear, but that's fine. They're just simply passing clouds. And you, on the other hand, get hooked on a cloud and keep following it, keep following it, keep following it, and you forget that that you simply are. You see? So if you don't follow the thought with the story, and you don't use the thought to sort of interpret the feeling, then what is left? What is left is a movement. It's a movement in the ever-present isness. You see? The idea of guilt. What is guilt? Guilt is a concept we have invented to, I don't know, to a particular feeling or whatever the case may be, or a particular storyline or so. But again, if you just drop all of it, what remains? What remains is beingness, is what you are. This is where this is all pointing to. You see? That's why I don't have to engage in those kinds of questions. In a psychological sense, someone who's very identified with the sense of identity, well, maybe they may have to deal with those questions at a psychological level, because that is part of the play as it's unfolding for that person, for that seeming person. But what we're pointing to here is that you are, prior to any thought, prior to that you're prior to anything. What you are is what remains. This is what this is pointing to. That's why all these seeming questions, they may seem to be valid, but in reality, like every question, they're just distractions. We're not negating anything here. All we're doing is remembering the fact that I am. When you're in bed dreaming, there's no need to do anything in the dream, or to fix anything in the dream, or try to do anything in the dream in order for you to become what you are. No, you already are. That's as a fact. We just need to withdraw the attention from the dream. So right now, if we withdraw the attention from the conceptual mind with all these inquiries and everything, and remain as I am, that's how it says, be still and know that I'm God. You see, that's where it's pointing to. If I remain as I am, then the obvious becomes is clear. Right now, if you don't identify with any thought, if there's no identification with any thoughts right now, I didn't say the thoughts will not be there. They will be there. That's what they do. What can I say? Clouds they appear, and the sky has not a problem with it. So if you don't identify with any thoughts, no thoughts whatsoever, just don't identify with them. What remains? And what remains is something you cannot negate. It's being overlooked though by the thoughts, but without being overlooked, what remains is life. And you are life. Well, these videos are reminding you of that. They're not trying to get you to become life. They're reminding you that you are always life. The problem is that you have believed yourself to be something other than life. A human being, a separate entity, with its own thinking, with its own feelings, with its own volition or so. No. You simply are. With the mind that is so conditioned, this is impossible to understand, because the mind is the obstacle itself. You cannot grasp it. I mean, what do you mean that I don't have choices? I mean, I choose all the time. Again, when you do the investigation, you realize that choices are being made through you. It's not you're the one who's making the choice. If you think you're the one making the choice, then I'm going to ask you, what is the next thought you're going to have? Because you cannot make a choice without a thought, isn't it? I cannot choose to pick up the phone if I don't have a thought that says I'm going to pick up the phone. I just don't pick up the phone for the sake of picking up a phone. I see myself picking up the phone because there's the impulse, there's a thought of, I'm going to pick up the phone. Even if I don't have to say I'm going to pick up the phone, I don't have to narrate everything before I do it. Oh, I'm going to pick up the phone, and I find myself picking up the phone. No, it's just an impulse. It's a natural, it's an organic, but the organic impulse, it just happens. You see? It's not me who predicts that it's going to happen. You see? Yeah, if I were to play a role in a movie theater or so, of course, the script is written, so I have to go by the script and I know what's going to happen. But in this seeming script, everything is very spontaneous. Life is spontaneous. Notice a lot of the things, almost everything that you're going to be doing today, notice how all of it is unscripted. Some may appear to be scripted. I have to pick up the kids to school if you have kids. Or I have a dinner with my friends, so I have to, I want to get a dress. All these seem to be thought out, you see, and you say, okay, I know what I'm going to do today. Just watch yourself. Just notice how many things, how everything seems to be happening. And even this dinner with your friends, you don't know if it's going to happen until it's happening. You see? And even picking the kids from school. Yes, it seems that, yeah, I'm pretty sure that may happen, but you never know. Life may throw a different curve, and then you find yourself calling your friend, you know what, my kids, I cannot go to school because something happened that I was not expecting. Can you pick them up for me? And if the friend says yes, then you go ahead and your friend picks the kids from school. So everything could change at any moment, at any point. That's why there's an old quote that says, you want to make God laugh, tell God your plans. You see? So you're just being, that's all that there is to it. It's very, very simple. Right now you are, you can never not be. And if you don't believe the content of the mind, then you're conscious. That's what the conscious person would be. We're awake. I don't like to use those words because you awake from the dream. You don't awake in the dream. But to some people, awakening the dream implies that even while you're dreaming, there's conscious of what you are. Well, let's not get caught up into language. We understand each other, I guess. And that's about it. I don't know what else to say, so I hope it served. And as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.